Hi there, time for class project once again. In last lesson you learned about how to add a long drop shadow, and this is the time for apply your skill. You learned about adding drop shadow in image. So this is my output of class project for adding a long drop shadow, and in this class project you have to add long drop shadow in image. So let's take a look in our PDF file, and the PDF file will help you a lot to complete the class project. So let's take a look. Here is our PDF file, and the name of our fourth class project is add long drop shadow. So let's follow the steps. So at first, fill document with solid color. Use edit menu to fill document with solid color. So let's take a look on Adobe Photoshop. Okay, you can take a look. I have a background layer inside my layer panel and it's filled with solid color. So in that case, at first you have to create a new document and then you have to go for edit menu, and from there you have to go for fill option to fill that background layer with solid color. So I did the same things. So let's follow the next step. Okay, the next step is image. Place image from exercise file, or you can use your own created image, or you can use unsplash.com. Try to use transparent background image. Okay, you can take a look. We used this papaya image for adding a long drop shadow, and this papaya image is given in our exercise file, so you can go with this image. And this papaya image is a transparent background image, but if you can create an image with transparent background, so you can use your own created image, or you can go for unsplash.com for finding image to create a long drop shadow. Okay, the next part is selection. Use quick selection tool for make a selection. If you use this papaya image for class project, then you have to use this quick selection tool for making a selection, or if you use your own created transparent image, then you have to select the subject using quick selection tool. Okay, the next step is add a new layer. After selection of a subject, create a new layer from layer panel and rename that layer as shadow. Okay, once you make a selection with quick selection tool, you have to add a new layer inside the layer panel. So here is the new layer option, and once you create the new layer, you have to rename the layer name, and you have to rename the layer name as shadow. So you can take a look. Here is our shadow layer and it's renamed. Okay, next step is fill selection with black color. Make sure shadow layer is selected and then go for edit menu to fill selection and fill the selection with black color. Okay, you have to make sure that shadow layer is selected and you have the selection in the subject, and then you have to go for edit menu, and from there you have to go for fill option. Then you have to use black color for fill the selection. Okay, so let's take a look on next step. Okay, next step is layer placement. Place shadow layer in between subject layer and background layer. Subject layer will be at top, shadow layer will be at second, and background layer will be at bottom. Okay, so you have to go for layer placement. This is the layer of our image, so this layer will be at top and we have to place this shadow layer at middle. So the sequence will be the image layer will be at top, shadow layer will be at second, and background layer will be at bottom. So this will be the formation and placement of layer. So please make sure that shadow layer is placed middle in between of two layers. Okay, the next step is scale shadow layer. Make sure shadow layer is selected and scale the shadow layer and make it bigger in size than subject. So you have to make sure that the shadow layer is selected, and then you have to scale the shadow layer. Actually, we got the shadow layer with black fill color, and to scale you have to press Ctrl or Command T, or you can go for edit menu, and here is the transform option, and from there you can go for scale option. So you have to scale the shadow layer, and you have to make a bigger in size than subject. So this is our subject, this is the main papaya, and this is the shadow layer. You have to make bigger in size than subject. You can take a look. I made this shadow layer bigger than the subject, so you have to do the same things. Okay, next step is reduce opacity of shadow layer. Reduce opacity of shadow layer and set opacity for 35%. Okay, once you complete making the shadow layer bigger than subject, then you have to go for reducement of opacity of shadow layer. So therefore you have to make sure that shadow layer is selected, and here is the field for opacity. You have to reduce the opacity for 35%. So let me show you. Right now I have the opacity for 35%. If you increase the opacity for 100%, this is the view of shadow layer with 100% opacity. But as we were creating a drop shadow, so we have to reduce the opacity. So therefore we have to reduce the opacity for 35%. And the final step is output. Save the image in JPEG format. So once you complete creating the long drop shadow in this image, you have to save this image in JPEG format. I have attached this image along with the PDF file. Let me show you. Okay, here is the output of my work. This is a JPEG format. I attached this with the PDF file, and here is the main file of class project. So you have to save the image after adding a long drop shadow in JPEG format. And I have a request to you. Please do share your class project work with me so that I can take a look at your class project work. So I'm really excited to have a look, and I'm really waiting.